Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning show. And today I got some news that's not, it's actually not new, but um, over the weekend I read this. So, anyways, so kind of what's been going on with Sprint, and this is something that's kind of unique. Well, not unique, but just kind of weird. Sprint is actually testing two plans right now for unlimited data. And they're being tested out in different markets, um, which is, it's a good thing. If Sprint is going to be making changes so they can bounce back from their incredible defeat to T-Mobile. Um, so, anyways, the plans are they're kind of unique. The first plan is actually, I guess, is priced where it's $60 for the main line, $40 for the secondary line, and then $25 for each line after that. And the second type that they're testing is 50 for the first line, 50 for the second line, and then 25 for each additional line after that. Apparently unlimited data, and they're trying to see which plan people gravitate to. And there's not really much of a difference. I mean, one plan having 60/40, the other one being 50/50. It's basically for two lines, $100. So either way, you know, it's kind of nice to see Sprint testing things out. However, at the same time, too, I don't know if this is going to be something that's going to want to bring people back who have left Sprint for companies like T-Mobile, AT&T, and T, and Verizon. Um, so anyhow, just with all this stuff with Sprint, I mean, Sprint has built itself into a very bad rep for the longest time, especially with their billing department. Their billing department is absolutely one of the core reasons why a lot of people gave up on Sprint, why a lot of people left Sprint, was for incorrect billing, and even then for tripling their monthly bill. I mean, who wants to open up an email or a piece of mail and from Sprint saying like normally you would pay like $100 um, for your bill, and then see that you're charging, well, you're being charged like $300-400 for that 1 month. I mean, a lot of people got sick and tired of dealing with that, and it's not so much of the incorrect billing; it's the fact that when they call in to get their bill corrected, it like takes hours of customer service. Well, not customer service, but billing, because you get transferred to the billing department, and it literally takes hours before they figured out, oh, it was a mistake on their end. They billed you three times the amount that they should have, which shouldn't even be that hard to catch. Trust me, I used to work as a CSR, at call centers, so I know how easy it is to pull up someone's bill and how you can easily tell if you've, basically charged them three times the amount that you should have. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So Sprint has had a bad rep for that, and also because they made the dumbest decision of going with WiMAX instead of LTE when 4G was basically being rolled out nationwide, and so they kind of laxed behind everybody else with LTE, and so people just weren't patient to say, hey Sprint, we're going to wait for you to roll out your LTE network. They were like, screw you, Sprint. You don't have LTE, I'm going to go to Verizon, and that's really what happened. So these two plans being tested out so far has gotten a good response. But do I honestly think that this is something that could bounce Sprint back from all the crap that it's done? No, I don't think so. The ads with David Beckham, I think it was, those ads didn't help. Showcasing that they got the guy from Verizon, he was a network tester. They used to be like, can you hear me now? Now that they have him on Sprint doing Sprint commercials and all this other stuff, and just I mean, it's still not enough to bring Sprint back from a lot of damage that was caused, especially under the days of Dan Hess, who took over Sprint and was trying to make it better, but just was totally oblivious to what his customers wanted or needed, and therefore, being removed as CEO, and Marcelo, now the current CEO, who is making some good strides and coming up with some pretty good ideas, and that always could be appreciated. I just don't think that this is enough to get Sprint back, in the good graces of, all of us nationwide to even consider saying, hey, I'll go back to Sprint. I'll give them another chance. I mean, me personally, I have no problem with Sprint's network. I have no problem being under their prepaid company, Boost Mobile. I have no problem. Cell reception is great for me in certain places. Sometimes it gets a little spotty, but what doesn't? Um, like I said, I want things to, like I'm not the type of person that expects things to work like absolutely perfectly smooth every second of the day. I do understand that there's going to be times where things is going to be a little crappy. So I don't know, but for a lot of people, they want things to work like that, and I don't think they would give Sprint another chance, not anytime soon. So, anyways, moving on from that one, interesting thing about Boost Mobile stores is that several Boost Mobile stores are currently running a test where basically Xfinity TV, which is I believe is a prepaid TV service, is going to be hosted in certain Boost Mobile stores, and if everything goes out great, eventually we'll roll out nationwide, all across the country to most Boost Mobile stores. It is quite interesting. Because I guess the idea behind it is that people that use Xfinity TV, I believe that's what it's called. I might be wrong, but if they go in to pay their bill at a Boost Mobile location, I guess obviously they think that with Boost Mobile phones and Virgin Mobile phones being in sight, that Sprint thinks that they'll be able to get people to kind of check out their products, which is again not a bad idea to go ahead and do something like that. It's not really a bad idea at all. At the same time, too, I mean, sometimes people just don't want to be hit full frontal in the face with like, oh yeah, besides paying your TV bill, would you like to check out any one of our lovely devices we have on the showcase right here? We have an excellent deal on this phone. I mean, no, nobody really wants to get hit with that when they're paying a bill. No one really likes paying bills anyway. So, going in to pay a bill and then being hit up with, hey, what carrier are you with, type question is automatically going to be more or less like kind of like in the middle to the negative side of things, and not really going to be an absolute positive. Maybe out of, say 10 people, maybe one or two people might actually be like willingly and open to the suggestion of actually discussing what carrier they're with, what their phone bill is, and possibly making a switch over to Boost or Virgin Mobile or Sprint if they carry Sprint in the store. But most Boost Mobile stores are just Boost and Virgin Mobile. But I mean, yeah, just like maybe 2 out of 10 people would be open to the suggestion of that. Maybe another 3 would be willing to hear but are not absolutely ready to make a jump. And the rest are probably just going to be like, dude, don't talk to me about cell phones right now. I'm paying my TV bill, So I mean, it's kind of like unique how all these things are happening with Sprint and Boost Mobile and Virgin Mobile. Virgin Mobile moving its entire headquarters to Kansas, I believe it's Kansas City, and hiring new staff and everything like that. So I'm actually pretty interested to see what happens with Virgin Mobile in the future, what kind of things they're going to launch to do, how Sprint is revamping Virgin Mobile, and will Virgin Mobile actually come back in the spotlight? Because it's actually been a long time since Virgin Mobile has had some sort of spotlight on it. I mean, they lack devices being sold compared to its twin company, Boost Mobile, and then the plans are just kind of weird compared to its sibling company, Boost Mobile. So it's just I would hate to see Virgin Mobile known as like the bland brand. Virgin Mobile used to stand for something actually really good. Before the days of smartphones, like of course they had those little flip phones and they had little candy bar cell phones, and people were enjoying those. They loved those phones. But one of the things I think people loved most about Virgin Mobile was the fact that if you ran out of minutes and you didn't have money to load your account, you could actually watch ads on Virgin Mobile's website, and it would give you like, sometimes you'll get like 1 minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, like just sitting down watching ads for 2 hours, you could probably rack up enough, cell time to actually have like a half hour or an hour phone call. So, I mean, there was just all kinds of things that you got from Virgin Mobile back in the day. Virgin Mobile made it, seem to be hip and cool. and then they just kind of like went on a downward spiral. Um, so I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where Virgin Mobile goes with this. So, but also one thing that I know that would definitely help, like Boost Mobile, Virgin Mobile, and Sprint prepaid, is if they allowed Nexus devices to be activated on there. That would actually be, and it's possible too because Sprint right now actually has a three-in-one SIM card that is starting to get some popularity, and right now they're completely sold out. So eventually, when it goes back up on their website, um, if you want to bring like a non-Sprint device or other devices, because the reason they have a three-in-one SIM card is for the fact that with specific devices they have to use a certain SIM card, and sometimes if you buy devices like off of eBay or Amazon, sometimes they don't come with a SIM card in there or the ICCID card basically, and trying to figure out which one goes to the particular phone that you bought can be a hassle, and that's why Sprint has a three-in-one SIM card because basically you'll be able to. It's easy just to buy that and slip it into your phone, and then have your phone actually work. Um, so I mean, who knows? Maybe with this whole three-in-one SIM card, maybe they'll eventually open it up to allow Nexus devices to activate on Boost Mobile and Virgin Mobile. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. If that happened, definitely I would go out and buy me a Nexus device because then it'd be worth the money. But at this current point right now, not happening just yet. But fingers crossed. On some interesting news before I close this out, that was a pretty short broadcast, but I got a lot of things to do today, and this week's going to be pretty hectic for me. So probably not a lot of videos on my channel, and I apologize ahead of time. But yeah, got a lot of things happening. But now this concerns Verizon Wireless customers. So, and I know a lot of Verizon customers are going to get pissed off when they hear about this, and I'm pretty sure some people have already heard about it or read about it somewhere through the grapevine. Okay, so it was known. Sorry about the trying to get comfortable here. But it was pretty much known that if you were on Verizon, like way back in the day, well, not way back in the day, but I'd say like a good, I think it was a good 5, maybe 6, 7 years ago, Verizon actually offered unlimited data that was unlimited data, like no data throttling, nothing. Okay, you paid your plan, you used however much internet you wanted to use in that month, and that was it. And so when Verizon announced that they were going to do away with that and that they were going to start having plans that had an allotted amount of 4G LTE and then it would be throttled to 3G or 1X, depending if your device was 1X capable. Most devices were just 3G and up, but some devices still were capable on their 1X signal. Um, a lot of people were like, pretty much they didn't upgrade from that point on. Like anytime like Verizon would pitch, and I know Verizon does this because I used to work for them. But every time you would call in for like some whatever reason or whatever, one of the things that we as CSRs for Verizon had to do is if the customer was available to upgrade their device, we had to basically remind them that they had an upgrade that they can do, and that we would be happy to assist them in upgrading all their devices on their line if they were all eligible for an upgrade. We were able to, we had to tell them that, and of course, they weren't going to go for it because if you upgrade, if you were on a grandfathered plan, you had to switch. There was no way you could keep your handset device. So a lot of people basically had to hear that same message over and over again every time they called into Verizon for something because it was like it was mandatory for CSRs for Verizon to say that. But people weren't biting because the way they saw it is upgrade to a new device and get a new plan, or keep my old device and keep unlimited data, which they couldn't throttle you or nothing because you were grandfathered. So a lot of people chose to keep their old devices, and then it came out to where you could swap your device on your account without having to change your price plan because it's not considered an upgrade. So then people decided like, okay, they'll go to websites like Swappa, eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, Close Five. They would go to all these different sites to find phones that were Verizon capable and buy those outright cash or debit card, whatever, but just paid, an actual full price for them, even though it wasn't like full retail price. They bought them used, and they would bring them over to Verizon and activate them on their line. And Verizon really couldn't do squat about it because they're not upgrading a device. So technically, people found a loophole on how to get new phones onto their account and keep their unlimited data, and it works so far. But now Verizon basically has just gotten so tired of it that instead of shooting slugs under the table, they basically pulled their rifle out with the scope on and they're about to shoot the deer in the head because they're stating that people that are on the unlimited data plan have until August 31st to switch to any one of their new plans or their lines would be shut down. And they say that this is only going to apply to people that are extreme data users. So people that use their phone basically as a modem, watch Netflix in their house linked to like 4 different TVs, and then the laptop's linked to it, and the tablet's linked to it, and like everyone's just pulling data from this one smartphone. They paint a picture like that, but I know Verizon to be sneaky as hell. Like Verizon has probably, in my mind, will always have the worst rep after the things that the practices that I've seen them do with their customers, their customer base. I just can't look at Verizon in that limelight like, they're a decent company. And it would be foolish to say like they should be this absolute angelic company because, of course, their whole mission, in this world is to make money. And, money is the root of all evil. So sometimes they will slit someone's throat just to get that money. So I'm not naive to that concept at all. But Verizon has some really bad practices. I mean, there's one thing about slitting someone's throat just to get money versus actually ripping someone's heart out to get money. And that's basically where Verizon stands in that analogy. They're the heart rippers and not the throat slitters. Um, so anyways, yeah. So while they may say it's for extreme users only, and that other people that are on grandfathered on the unlimited data plan are safe if they're not data hogs, I firmly believe that this is a way to just push people out of that grandfathered plan so they can actually just shut it down. Like, not shut it down, but just take it off where it's not accessible at all whatsoever. Um, and believe me, they will do it to everybody. I mean, if everyone else is naive enough to call in before the 31st and make the switch, uh, yeah, they'll get everyone off there. And then even if some people were to call in and ask and be like, would my account be affected? That they know for a fact they don't use a lot of data, but they don't want to change their plan. Um, they'll pretty much lie to you and say, no, sir, we are seeing here that you use an excessive amount of data, and so you would need to change your plan. Like their whole goal is to get rid of this plan. This plan has been grandfathered for a long time. I think in Verizon history, this plan is probably the longest price plan that has been grandfathered on Verizon's network. I mean, there's plans that have been grandfathered and eventually had phased out. Actually, they haven't gone as far as 2 years until they're completely phased out. So, but this one is, I think, on 6 or 7 years, possibly 8, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a long time for Verizon to actually have this plan grandfathered to certain customers who refuse to change their price plan. And of course, Verizon is quite expensive for what they charge for their data and everything else. Even with the recent changes that they made, just it seems a little ridiculous. I don't know. I think that you know, this is actually, like I said, this is Verizon no longer shooting slugs under the table, but pulling that scope out and just shooting the deer straight in the head. Like they're not even trying to hide anything. They really want to shut down the unlimited data because I mean it's beneficial to the customer and not to them. They're losing revenue in the fact that people can use unlimited data on Verizon, and they don't have to upgrade because they can buy, use devices and swap their line onto another Verizon device. So, the consumers are the ones that win. And that's where, like, eventually the company is going to get tired and do something brash and um, basically to swing the favor into the company side. Because, like I said, they're all about making money. That's the whole point of Verizon is they got to make money. So, anything that benefits the customer. If okay, put it this way: if it was like 80% beneficial to the customer and 20% to Verizon, you can forget that they'll support anything like that. 70-30, no way. I think the only time Verizon will ever do anything that actually benefits the customer is if it's like 30-70, where consumers get 30% benefits out of it, but Verizon will get 70% benefits out of it. That is probably like the lowest they will go. Okay, usually it's about a 80, about a 20-80, or what was it, like a 15-85 is probably like normally where they have it, the ratio sliced at. And that's like I said, that's understandable. They're a business, they gotta make money. So, but yeah, anyone that's on Verizon's unlimited data plan can expect to be told to actually change their price plan by August 31st, or they will be cut from Verizon. And of course, when if you wait till the 31st or after the 31st and you get cut, of course, who knows what processes will have to be done to get your account back in good standings. Like basically, if you're going to have to pay another deposit per line, who knows? Verizon's also been outrageous with deposits. I've seen deposits go so high as 1,500 per line, and people are crazy enough to pay that price. I've seen people that have said, charge it to my credit card, and I'm like, you want 4 lines at $1,500, so you're gonna spend that like pretty much 6,000 for 4 lines. That's just to get 4 lines. That's not even buying the phones and paying the price plan. That's insane. But I've seen people go that route. So, um, anyways, moving on from that, before I close this out, I caught Techno Buffalo's unboxing of the ZTE Z Max Pro, and quite interesting from what John's perspective is on a device that's $99. It's actually looks quite good. I mean, I know people don't like ZTE. Basically, they don't like anything manufactured in China. They're okay with Korea. Korea, good. China, bad. Basically, to a lot of people. Um, Except for those that get the Nexus 6P, who tend to forget that that is Chinese made as well. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, his reactions was they were okay about the device. I mean, concerning for what you're paying for it on Metro PCS, 99 bucks. Well, I think one of the things that that people are starting to enjoy is the fingerprint readers that are being built into mid-range and budget devices. So, I mean, I can clearly see within the next year and a half that the next wave of budget devices and mid-range smartphones are all going to have biometric readers to have some sort of security. But um, yeah, head over to Techno Buffalo if you guys want to check out the unboxing and the first impressions about the ZTE Z Max Pro. And I do know fellow YouTubers, Paul Tech and Tech Right, are targeting to get this device to do a review on. So hopefully this week sometime we may see that little title pop up in our notifications that either Tech Right or Paul Tech got a hold of the ZTE Z Max Pro and they're about to unbox it, because that'd be pretty awesome to see. I'm not a Metro guy. I'm the Boost guy, so obviously I'm not going to be picking up this device at all whatsoever. But I know they will, and so I will push the spotlight onto them. So you guys can be on the lookout for that unboxing from either one of their channels. Um, and I think, I'm not mistaken, but I think John from Magic Tech Reviews might also get that device too. I'm not sure. I think I may have heard him talk about it. But you guys could be expecting that from those guys. And if you guys are interested in the OnePlus 3 and the Moto G4, you guys can check out Tony Pazzo's channel. You guys check his channel out for an unboxing and reviews on it, and also go and subscribe to his channel as well. And Jay Williams also did some an unboxing and review, as well as my Project 13. So head over to those guys' channels, check out the videos. I mean, it's always great to get a perspective from different bloggers. So, so I'm airing out three different possibilities so you guys can get opinions from three different tech reviewers and basically just make your own decision if you guys think the phone is great or not. Anyways, guys, that's it for the morning show. If the quality was really bad, my apologies. I don't know what the hell's going on with my Wi-Fi. It's just been ever since this excessive heat has hit the city. My Wi-Fi signal, no matter what channel I set my modem to, no matter how many times I reboot the modem, how I check if there's a firmware upgrade to my modem, it just seems that like the Wi-Fi will go good for maybe like 15 minutes, and then it'll just go. The quality will just go down. It'll just go so shitty. So my apologies if this comes out stuttering and pixelated or whatever. If it did, I'm sorry, but it's out of my hands. That's what you get for living in hell. I'm just kidding. Uh, but the heat makes you feel like it, so I guess I wouldn't be really off from saying that. But anyways, guys, thanks for checking out the morning show. Like I said, I'm not going to have a lot of videos this week. I'll try to do some live streaming and broadcasting throughout this week just because I'm going to have a real hectic week ahead of me, a lot of just things, busy in my personal life. So, but I appreciate everyone that sticks by me. I appreciate everyone that still, watches my videos and people that's viewing this broadcast right now. I really appreciate you guys, although I can't see anything. I don't know why. I think Hangouts really does need to implement the YouTube chat into like Hangouts because there's like on Hangouts there's no way for me to see the YouTube chat questions. So I don't know if anyone has been posting anything on the YouTube chat section. I can't see it, and so my apologies. I'm not just blabbing on and ignoring everybody. It's just I can't see anything that people are posting. So I really wish Google would fix that, bring it in to Hangouts on Air, so then that way I can see people's responses. But anyways, I'm going to go now, and you guys should too. Have a great breakfast. Beginning of the week, Monday. I know I'm kind of dragging your feet, but hey, in 2 days will be hump day, and in 2 days will be the weekend. So you guys have a blessed day, and thanks for checking me out. See me in the next one, guys.